This is a video on how to use liquid nitrogen in special effects for drug shows, abstinence with teenagers, and gospel routines. And the drug show will be on the beginning of the tape, and then the abstinence show. You might, if you're offended by Christian material or religious material, then you may want to turn it off right after the drug show, right after the drug portion of the tape, the routines that deal with that. The abstinence show has a little bit of religion in it. I pray beforehand, but you may want to watch it if you're having problems with premarital sex among your kids in your schools and stuff, because it's a routine that can be used in that way. If you watch it, you'll see. After that are gospel routines, and if you're offended by that, you certainly don't want to watch past the abstinence routine. But now let's talk about the liquid nitrogen. At the end of this video will be a phone number where you can call Praxair, which is the people that I get this product from. It's liquid nitrogen. It comes in a 10 milliliter dewar, and you want to be very careful with this stuff because it's very dangerous. If left unattended and a little kid walked up and grabbed his cup and took a big drink, you wouldn't even get 911 dialed, and the ambulance wouldn't even be able to get there before they'd be gone, because it would totally freeze everything where it went down. If they got a big enough gulp and it got down far enough, I dare say they most likely wouldn't survive. Maybe they would. But to show you that it's not as dangerous as I'm making it sound, but yet it's more dangerous than you want to find out, you can stick your hand in it and grab things out. I know a gentleman that will actually reach in and pull things out of it. It's not as cold in a quick shot as it is in a long shot. This stuff is 320 degrees below zero. You'll see roses shattered. You'll see bananas frozen to the point of being able to drive nails into boards. Potentially dangerous, but also it has a potential for reaching kids in a way that nothing else could. That's why I put all this routine on video, so that you'd be able to use this in reaching your kids too. And I just ask that you be careful. Don't leave it unattended. Don't play with it in front of the kids. Don't let them play with it. And that's all. I'd like to show you now how to prepare the anti-drug portion of the routine with the liquid nitrogen. You'll need a bag of round white, 5-inch round white balloons. Doesn't have to be, sorry about the ad, but doesn't have to be there. It's just the one I use. I have a pair of tongs to help pull things out and to help hold things in, because they'll have a tendency to come back out if you don't hold them in with a little bit of weight. You'll need about 15 white balloons filled up. What I did with the drug show that I did is I wrote the names of people that I knew that had died from drugs. Jack Wilson. We'll go into that later. One other balloon that I did was not me with an exclamation point. And another one was you with a question mark. You. And then just a couple of generic names like Susan, Tommy. Now, you'll want to, because these balloons sometimes will develop a hole and not reinflate, you'll want to do 2, not me, and 2 with the U with the question mark. Because if they develop a hole and it doesn't reinflate, you'll want a spare. I've never had it to where 2 of the same do that. And along with like Tommy, I usually put Billy. Along with Susan, I'll put Nancy. May not be common names today, but they're names I grew up with. The kids will know. They'll understand. This is a 10-liter liquid nitrogen doer. There's a company pretty well nationwide called Praxair. They're going to be your best bet for finding this in your area. What this is a vacuum chamber. There is a chamber with a chamber within with a vacuum in between. It helps keep the cold in. This stuff is 320 degrees below zero. You've got to be very careful when using this, because if you've got this sitting unattended and a little child walks up and grabs it and takes a drink, you're not going to make it to the emergency room with them. It is dangerous, but under supervision, it's not. I'll show you in a little bit. As you take the plug, the cap out, you'll pour liquid nitrogen, and you'll want to have an insulated cup with double walls, so that the outside will freeze, but it'll help keep it a little bit longer. Brr. As you fill the cup, you'll feel bits and pieces of it bubbling out. Because this stuff is 320 degrees below zero, and you're pouring it into a container in a room that's, what, 70 degrees in here? 65, 70 degrees? This stuff is constantly boiling. I don't know if you can get the camera to see into the container. But it's boiling. Now you'll take your Not Me balloon and you'll put it into the liquid nitrogen. It's so cold, it causes the air to condense to the point that the balloon totally collapses and freezes. Once it's totally collapsed, take your U balloon, one of them, put it in. It will begin to shrink, and you just continue on, balloon after balloon after balloon.